Hey guys, it's Mike Vanderloot with Street City Realty Inc. brokerage here in London, Ontario on this week's Q&A session with Costa Poulopoulos. Costa, this week's question has to do mostly with clauses in the agreement of purchase and sale. And the one particular clause I would like some clarification on is we sometimes do get hung up on this when we're sitting at the table with our clients and people get nervous because they don't have one and it surveys. And it basically says, the seller exists or agrees to provide an existing survey. How should this be handled?
That's, again, a great question, Mike. Sometimes actually that could be the problem to getting a deal put together, because you dig your heels in saying, well, we don't have a survey, we don't know if we have one or if we don't have one, and you get so hung up on that one clause, and you lose track of what you're trying to do. And so let me just clarify that. And it's not just the survey clause, but we'll speak specifically about the survey clause. You don't need to put in there that the seller agrees at the seller's expense to provide an existing survey. And sometimes agents will put, if one exists. Well, you know why you don't have to put it in there? It's already in the pre-printed clause of the Ontario Real Estate Association's Agreement of Purchase and Sale. It's actually on clause number 12, documents and discharges, and it says something along the lines that the seller agrees to provide an existing sketch or survey of the property within his possession or control. So if a lawyer has it, it's in his control, he can get it, to the buyer and prior to the requisition date. So that's pretty key. So why would you put a clause already in when it's already pre-printed in there? If there is an existing survey, the seller must provide it to the buyer once the buyer requests it or the buyer's lawyer requests it. They have to check their files and they have to make sure that they provide it.
Right.
The only time that you'd want to put a survey clause in there is if it's a brand new survey.
Right.
Then it's kind of open up there and we say, the seller agrees to supply or provide a new survey at the seller's cost. We all know then we're talking about a new survey. But if it's an existing survey, do not put the clause in. It's already in the pre-printed section. In addition to that one clause, we see it over and over again and does not need to be in there, is the same clauses on number 19 and number 20. Number 19 deals with property assessment, where people say that the property has not yet been assessed and it may very well. It's already in the pre-printed clause number 19, so no need to put it in there. And the last one I mentioned was clause number 24 about legal, accounting, and environmental advice. A lot of agents are putting in a separate clause saying the brokerages and agents involved in this transaction are not deemed to be giving legal and environmental and accounting advice. Well, it's already in there. Right. So those are the three clauses I would say, don't put them in there. It's already pre-printed in there. There's already obligations. It's very clear. And if you look at those clauses, it just less is more in an offer. You don't have to put redundant clauses in that are duplicated.
Makes sense. Awesome. Thank you, Costa.
Thanks, Mike.